Here's what's relevant about it, Larry, is there's certain ramifications to what you're doing, which
What are they?
we are obligated to inform you of.
Okay, let's get to it. That's what we're here for.
Which is exactly what we're going to do. In order to fully inform you of those ramifications, we also have to know what the full situation is, which is if there's involvement.
You're asking to predict the future, speculation, and I'm not about...
Let me just finish my sentence. Is that okay? If you're connected to people who are dedicated to the destruction of the Church of Scientology internationally, which Mark Headley is and Jason Begay is, and they have proven that over and over from conferences in Germany, trying to take away the religious rights of Germans, and I mean, we can list it all out, which we will go over that. We just need you to be straight with us so we understand exactly where you're coming from so we can inform you of all of those facts. That's all. And that's where we're coming from.
Okay.
So if there's certain
I'll tell you where I'm coming from. I'm a guy who's dissatisfied with Scientology, and I want my money back.
Of course.
Aside from that, or beyond that, my life is my life, and who I associate with is my choice. What I intend to do is purely in the future. There's no way to speculate. I don't know what I intend to do. Right now, walking in this door, the last thing on my agenda would be to be an active enemy of the Church of Scientology. But sitting here right now, you think this is doing good? No, I have been in the Church of Scientology for 33 years now. I dare you to call me glib. All right, you know, I gave this a real fair chance. I don't know how old you are, Tommy.
36.
Yeah, okay. So I got in when you were 3. All right.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
My mom knew you when you got in. You guys were both at CC at the same time.
Yeah.
Vaughn was there, etc. You got in actually even before my mom did. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
76.
Really yeah, I've been at CERT for 18 years. So I've been at CC for a long time, and I definitely know you and know who you are. Okay. And if you remember that I was there when you got shown orientation for the first time by Marion Powell. We were in the film room at CC, and I was part of that presentation.
Yeah, I do. I remember that.
So I recall all of that, and I remember, you know, you getting your commendation for it from the chairman of the board, and I remember you being very emotional about that because it meant a lot to you. So I also remember you being a very dedicated Scientologist and somebody for whom the church meant a lot. And, you know, particularly given, and this brings up a valid point, which is, this is really, I guess, the main crux of the conversation, if we were going to cut to the quick. You're the guy who's orientation. You're the one who's saying we in it. And it's very clear that also given that you have been a Scientologist for as long as you've been, that those are viewpoints that you personally held when you said them. And of course that's a film that every single Scientologist in the world and every single person who comes into a Church of Scientology to do services sees. And you are representative of dynamics in Scientology in that regard. So to the degree that you choose to leave the church, which you know is what you're saying, you have to realize that communicating that, stating you're no longer a Scientologist to either other Scientologists or to the public at large, or so on and so forth, you know, has the potential of creating quite an effect.
Oh.
And would be,
believe me,
and would be very upsetting just to keep it to a tight circle or a close circle to people who are your friends and have known you for, some of them, for those 33 years. And I think that there has to be some due consideration made to the church and to those Scientologists by you in how you go about this.
Such as? Well, how I go about this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think that's too much to ask.
How do I go about it?
Well, you mentioned wanting to get your money and disappear. I mean, certainly, you know, keeping it to yourself and not talking about it would certainly be appropriate, and us working out some agreements.
Why?
On that basis.
Why am I supposed to clam up about how I feel about life? Excuse me, I should disappear and not talk to anybody?
Well,
Did you just say that?
You just said you wanted to get your money and
No,
disappear.
he was repeating back what you said that you wanted to get your money and disappear.
If you want to rewind and play it back, go ahead. But What I said is that you yourself said to me, I just want to get my money.
You will not see me around the church anymore.
I understand that, Larry.
But don't talk to anybody. I mean, that's what you just said.
I didn't say don't talk to anybody.
This is not an extortion. Or is it?
No.
Okay, so what does that mean? You're looking for me to just get my money and disappear and don't talk to anybody. That's bullshit. This is a First Amendment in this country.
It's actually not what he said. I think there's a misdemeanor.
Let's rewind it and play it back.
Go for it.
That's going to happen on auditions. As I ran into Jason Begay, I'll run into Jim Meskimen. I see him in commercial auditions all the time.
Sure.
Now, am I going to sit there and say, Jim, we got to talk?
Right.
No. Because I respect Jim. And I respect that this is Jim's choice, and it's not my charge in life to dissuade Jim from being a Scientologist. Now, if somebody asks me about Scientologists, hey Larry, you're a Scientologist, I'm going to say no. Didn't work for me. I was in 33 years. I spent a lot of money and a long time on Scientology. If that scenario arises, the likelihood is that's probably what I'll say. Because the reason I'm getting out of Scientology is because I feel it doesn't work, I feel it's hypocritical, and I think that management is corrupt. Management is corrupt.
Well, you're talking to
we'll leave it
management
right there.
now, so you're saying I'm corrupt.
Management is corrupt.
Where did that come from?
I spent a year and a half on the internet. Okay, do we have to go over this again?
Did you see it? Did you see the corruption? What did you actually see with your own eyes that was
not
corrupt?
the point of this.
What did you actually?
It
is the
Okay,
point.
are we going to stop this? Do you want to?
It's one of the reasons you're leaving, so we have to understand what you actually saw.
Now, that has all been covered. Go over my folders, go over whatever has been written up in the last year and a half with OSA. It's a matter of record.
Are you talking about
not the
CRB?
point in this conversation for you two to go over all of this ground again. Now, if we just want to end, I was trying to give you some context. If you want to stop it there and say we can't go on.
I'll cut your calm. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was addressing the point that you were saying, or exploring how active of an anti-Scientologist I'm going to be. Okay? Who knows? I have no plans right now. My plan is to get on with my professional life and my personal life. That's all I can say. So to your point again, where you brought all this up, where you said disappear and not talk to anybody, I will talk to whoever I like.
Well, you said that. You're the one who said that.
No,
You're the
you
one
said it, and I stopped you and said, "What did you just say?"
No. I'm telling you, when you spoke to me on the phone, you said you wanted your money back. You just wanted your money back and to disappear.
Okay, so
I'm only
we're defining
what
what
you
disappear
said to me
means.
on the phone.
Oh yes,
you've
we were
now
defining what disappear was.
you've
When I
now
said you're not going
defined
to
to
see me in the
me what
orange, blah blah blah.
disappear means. Right.
Okay, so there we go. Let's get to point B. A to B.
Just thinking, I mean, we just need to go through the ramifications of what he's doing. You do realize you'll never ever, no matter if you have a change of heart in 15 years or 20 years, or you're on your deathbed, or you're getting in an accident, you feel like an assist, you will never be able to get services from a Church of Scientology.
Absolutely.
Like, it's even.
I do not consider Scientology the path to spiritual freedom and the only way out of the trap.
That's fine. I'm just telling you, at the end of orientation, you're the one who said, you know.
I believed it then. I don't believe it anymore. And I do understand that Scientology will never be available to me again. Yes.
Okay. And you do understand that the people who you are associated with, who are Scientologists, may very well choose, and most likely will choose, to never be associated with you again.
Absolutely.
Okay.